those PTA units. So it's not just Whitman PTA, it's all of the units within our district. And finally, the mutual support between the PTA and the Whitman administration, teachers and staff. It's a wonderful collaborative effort. Your membership is only $8. I hope you will consider becoming a member. Now, just a quick note for our upcoming events. At our February 8th meeting, we will be featuring Eleanor Ferrante of Square Peg, Square Hole Coaching, as she talks about the college admission process. Also, during the February 8th meeting, PTA members will vote on a proposed bylaw amendment to increase the annual PTA membership dues to a universal $10 per person. Our dues have not increased in over 6 years. I think that's pretty great. At our March meeting, we will feature a panel of seniors who will talk about the college application experiences for real-life perspective. There's a Q&A session in addition. In March, our nominating committee will be formed that oversee the voting process for the 2022-2023 officer positions. All positions are open: president, vice president, treasurer, recording secretary, corresponding secretary, and council delegate. There are also many other chairperson opportunities and ways to be involved without holding an officer position. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening, and I'll be outside when you come out. So thank you. Enjoy the presentation. And AP is an amazing program. My son's in 2 of them, and he absolutely loves it. And he's a junior, so I hope you guys enjoy all the information that you're going to learn tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Addis. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. John Murphy, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction.
First thing I have to say, I feel like my Ring Door app is going off every time I hear it. I'm feeling like there's a pizza here, and I like pizza. So obviously I said I'm Dr. John Murphy. Our superintendent just walked in. He wanted to say hello, Dr. D'Elia. So Mr. Blair had asked me to come. So obviously I was the former principal. Mr. Costa is now, and this is something is a collaboration we're doing together. And wanted to talk about, one, the importance of APs. Wanted to talk about the fears that you may have, the fears that your kids may have, and kind of alleviate those fears, because really what we want to do is let you know that everybody from your child's counselor coming up to the high school, to the teachers, to even the administrative staff, is here to make sure that your child not only gets the smoothest transition coming into the high school if they're an 8th grader, but also shucks the misconceptions there are of APs, okay? So I want to go on a little bit of the history of AP. I want to talk about what we offer as an AP, and then I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions, because really what it is, and I don't come to not only as just an administrator or somebody that's in the educational field, my son is also a student here at Walt Whitman High School, and my wife and I, even though I was she was the worst person to be right there sitting there listening to me. The critique was crazy. But she sat there, and we sat there as parents and said, are we doing the right thing for our child and getting them into APs? And I wanted to make sure that I let you know that I give it to you both ways, as a parent and also as an educator. So any questions you have, I'll answer them in any fashion, in either as a parent or as an administrator. So let's talk a little bit about AP courses. What are they? So an AP course, really all it is, it's a big fancy way of saying it's a college level course, okay? And what we mean by college level course is there's an expectation of work, there's an expectation of just higher level work, higher level reading, and what it does is it signifies not only to the school, but to your child, to yourself, and also to colleges, future colleges, that your child is prepared and ready to take on college level work. Now, you may be sitting and go, well, wait a second, my kid's gonna go in 9th grade. Why would we worry about college right now? Well, I have to tell you, your college process started for a lot of you. So how many of you are parents of 8th graders? Show of hands, just raise your hand. Okay. Of those that raise their hand, how many of your children are either in algebra or in earth science or living environment? Show of hands. How many people have no clue? Okay, so that was good, we're there, all right. So what it is, then I have to tell you right now, your child's college process has already started, because that's on their high school transcript. So I want to make sure and let you know, this is not just something that we can wait till our 11th and 12th grade year. These are things we have to start talking about now. And APs are that. So what we have to talk about is how these courses not only are going to reflect on your child, saying when they start going through the college process a little more rigorously, what kind of student is my child going to be seen as at the colleges that they want to get in? And I also have to preface that, let me be very clear, Whitman graduates, 91% of our graduates go to college. So it's not like we're sitting there going, well, this only affects half of the kids. This affects 9 out of 10 kids, because all an AP class is the same college course you take at Suffolk, you take at Fordham, or you take anywhere in the SUNY school system. All it is a college level course, okay? So we have to get rid of that scary thing called AP. Now, students take AP exams at the end of the course, just like you take a final in another course. Same final, just like a Regents exam. It's the same type of test. Yes, it's a little more rigorous, but we have amazing teachers that teach AP that are going to make sure that your child's prepared for it. And there are a number of resources that we have at your disposal, both in school and outside of school, either online or through some of our extra help programs, that will prepare your child for that AP exam. Now, here's where I got it, where my wife and I love, because for every AP class your child takes, majority of those courses give you college credit. That's why they say college credit. So let me tell you, an average AP student that takes APs in their high school career, I've seen students come out with as much as 21 credits going into college. So what does that mean to you? Well, that means this to you, for one, because the average cost of a college course is around anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000 a credit. So times that by 3, that's one class. Now the average semester is 12 to 15 credits, which means you're getting over a half a year's worth of college credit, and they haven't even left high school. Most students at Walt Whitman High School and high schools across New York State come in, and doesn't mean that you're going to leave college early. What it does mean is that you can go for a double major or a minor, and it doesn't cost you anything. And they do it in the same amount of college time as they would if they went to college and didn't have APs. And now you're getting more for your dollar, and they're getting more experience at the secondary level. And this is important. Things such as college clubs and activities. Everything can signify, because you're not allowed to be in certain clubs, or you're not allowed to be in certain programs in college unless you have a certain number of credits. Well, this already signifies you can walk in your first day and be a part of those programs, be a part of those clubs, be a part of those activities at the college level because you've taken APs within your high school, okay? Now, a college score like a Regents, you have a number grade 0 through 100. The way APs are done, they are done through a score of 0 to 5. 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. And I have to be honest with you, just so you don't get nervous, well, APs still make me nervous. 75% of our students that take an AP exam pass it. That's a good benchmark, especially when you look at the state and national average, and it is well lowered. So at Walt Whitman High School, for every 4 kids that go in, 3 of them get a 3 or higher. And that means that student gets college credit for that class, okay? And that's students of all walks of life. And it's important to note that, because any child can take an AP exam. Can you go to the next slide? So what kind of courses do we offer at Walt Whitman High School? And I have to be honest, and we've worked very hard. Mr. Blair, the counselors, the chairs have worked very hard over the last couple of years, and we offer 30 AP courses, okay? There's only 36 of them, so we offer almost every single AP course that's offered. Everything from your AP Art, and there's every subject area is covered in this, which means so if your child is more interested in fine arts, there are AP courses for fine arts. If your child is more interested in social studies, in psychology, there are AP classes for that. If they are math, there are AP classes in math. There are AP classes in science. Some are more than in other subjects, but this all starts the minute your child walks in. Now, even if you decide tonight, AP is not for me as a 9th grader. I don't want to take it. It's too much stress. We got to get used to high school first. That's okay. That's why when that message came out, it's not only for 8th graders, it's for any kid that's going in. You can be in 11th grade this year, and as a senior say, I want to take some AP courses. There's nothing stopping you, except for the big illusion and the scares like, oh my God, it's an AP course. I can't do that. And that's the misconception that you as parents and we as educators have to get our child, because especially if you're a 12th grader coming in, you're a year away from taking a college course anyway, so what's the difference? So these are things that we want to have, like meetings like this, that will help us with that. You go to the next slide. So these are where your AP courses naturally fall within your 4-year program at Walt Whitman High School. Now, if you have a child, we should raise hand. If you have a child that's in 8th grade that's going into 9th, we only offer one AP course. A question may be, well, why can't they take more? Well, the reason is because we don't want to stress your child out. We believe that one course in their AP exam or in their course load in 9th grade is the best way to prepare them for take multiple AP courses in future years. And we chose AP Human Geography for a couple of reasons, okay? So a couple years ago, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, we used to be, if you went to school in New York, we've had regents since the dawn of time. And the regents for 10th grade used to encompass 9th grade material and 10th grade material. And then you took a regents, which was the global history regents in 10th grade. About 3 years ago, the state said, we're not going to tie both years together in the test. So now that global test only tests you in 10th grade material. So when that happened, we decided, the counselors and the teachers and the social studies department decided that taking 9th grade and saying we're going to add an AP course here was less detrimental and giving students the experience to be able to take an AP course in 9th grade because there was not material that was going to be associated with their regents exam. Now, something also to note, if your child takes an AP, they are still responsible for regents exams. That's a New York State requirement. Now, they'd be prepared for both. They will have to take both tests, the AP and the regents, but I can tell you this, they can probably take the regents with their eyes closed after taking an AP course. It's not something that we're worried about. We have a very high success, extremely high, almost like a 99% pass rate on our regents for those that take AP courses because you're so over-prepared for those courses, okay? Any questions as of so far? And please, if I'm talking, raise your, go ahead. We'll go right, yes. So what we do is with AP exams, there is a charge, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But depending on your family's need, those prices can vary. But yes, there is always a price associated with an AP, and that's not within our control. That's College Board. They charge us for the tests. Any other questions? Go ahead. That's a great question because I like yellow and pink. Come on. No. I'm joking with you. So the reason why they're highlighted is that we decided, just to show you, the ones that are in yellow are social studies. These are in lieu of a regents level course. So like we talked about the AP Human Geography, that replaces Global History 1 in 9th grade. That means your child's not taking 2 social studies courses, they're only taking 1. If they decide to continue in their social studies courses in 10th grade, they say, I want to take another AP in 10th grade for social studies. Instead of taking Global History 2, which is a New York State required course, they would take either AP World History or AP European History. And that would satisfy New York State for their social studies credit. Okay? Same thing for AP US History. Instead of taking US History and Government in 11th grade, and you would take AP US History, you would not have to take 2 social studies courses. And for 12th grade, instead of taking Government and Economics, Participation in Government or Economics, they're 2 half-year courses, you can take a half year of AP Macroeconomics, and you can take a half year of AP Politics. And they would all be prepared, that would all be in lieu of your courses for graduation. The English ones, the pink, or the light pink, is AP Capstone is in lieu of your English 10 course, which is required by New York State. Your AP English is in lieu of your 11th grade English course, which is required by New York State. And then your AP Literature would be in lieu of your English 12 course, which again is required. You're required to take that in New York State. Any other questions? Still have where there are regions involved. So in social studies, you would take the global history in 10th grade with your AP World or AP Euro class. You would take the US history regents in 11th grade with your AP US history class. And then you would take the 11th grade English regents within your AP language class. They do not have to go through the course. They would be tied in with the AP class. Yes. Sure, I'm sorry, yes. Starting now, I'm not going to remember the words. All right, we're starting back from the beginning. No. Let's go to the next one. Actually, stay at this one for a second. So we talked about the colors. I just want to quickly mention, as we said, the 30 courses. If your child is into computer science, if your child is into other things, like we say, we put them in grade levels that we think that are best fit. So you'll see, like for 10th grade, you'll see AP Psychology there, or you'll see other courses. Those are elective courses. Those are other AP courses they can take. We put those in and we said, this is good for 10th grade, or this is good for 11th. That doesn't mean you can't take AP Psychology as a 12th grader. We're just saying that we believe at the skill level, these are at least decent grade levels that you can start these type of AP courses. All right, let's move on to the next one. Or not, we can just keep looking at them. Okay. So depending on what grade level you are, we are at Walt Whitman High School, and Mr. Costa is going to have further communications about this. We are what's called a student self-selection school, meaning any child can elect to go into an AP course, even if not recommended, okay? What a teacher does is they look at your child's grades and they'll look and say, okay, this person may be good for it, this person may be not. That's not the end-all be-all. If a child says, I really want to take AP Psychology, or I really want to take AP Human Geography, they are allowed to do so. They meet with their counselor. Now, at the high school level, all the months of January all the way into February, every student meets with their counselor one-on-one. And they'll go through their course selection process and they'll say, these are the courses I want to take. And then the counselor will look at it, say, okay, this satisfies everything, or ask them why, or ask them what their interests are, and get it so that their schedule is particular to them. And then they will print it and you can be in an AP class, okay? If you're in 8th grade, if you want to be in, let's say you want to start with AP Human Geography, there's a good chance your child may already be selected for it, meaning the counselor's already said they're in an honors course in 8th grade, we're going to move them to Human Geography in 9th grade. What I would suggest in doing is you contact your child's counselor at the middle school, and it's a simple email saying, I'd like my child to be in AP Human Geography. You can also email Mr. Blair and say, Mr. Blair, my child's coming up into 9th grade next year, and I'd like him to be a part of the AP Human Geography course. What I will say is, I'd ask, and this is for scheduling purposes for Mr. Costa and Mr. Blair, is that the decision doesn't have to be done tonight, but you should be having that conversation now, because you want to make sure that as they start creating student schedules, that it fits in your child's schedule, because they don't have a human geography class every period. So if it's something that you say, I really want them to try it out, then do it, then make that request now. And I will also preface, even if you're like a little on the fence, opt for going into the class first, because it's always easier to go down in class. It's a lot harder to try to say 3 weeks or 5 weeks later saying, you know what, the course he's taking right now really it's a little too simple for him. I want him to go up, because they'll miss so much more information go up rather than going down and having the information. So err on the side of, even if you're on the fence about it, err on the side of taking that AP course rather than trying to take it in a little later. Okay? So I'm going to talk just briefly about AP Capstone. We actually have a student that is in the AP Capstone program that's going to talk about it, because it really is something. What we learned, and one thing we do it in high schools, and it's done across all high schools, is we don't want your child just to be successful here. Yes, of course, we want them to graduate. We want us to say, wow, we have this many kids going to college. Look at all the colleges they're going to. But does it really matter? If that student isn't successful in that college, does it matter? Okay, they got to Harvard, that's great. They got to Fordham, they got to Brown, they got to wherever they're going. But if they don't finish and get the degree that says it, what does it matter? So one of the things that we reflect on, we talk to colleges and we say, what are kids, not our kids, but all kids, what are they lacking when they get to you? What is the hardest thing for a kid when they transition from high school to transitioning to post-secondary or college? And one of the biggest things they talk about is research. because it's almost like a student, an 18-year-old student getting out of high school has a little bit of, it freaks out a little bit when the first class they go into and they say, okay, so in 3 weeks, I want a 12-page paper annotated with 90 primary sources and this, and they call you their parent and they go, I'm dropping out, I can't do it. Like, I don't even know how to write my name. And they have a freak out session because they've never been expected to do that, or they've never been expected with that much rigor to complete that. And so this becomes something that we saw. So AP's College Board created a course that's specifically designed to address those needs in research and in creating those type of research projects. So I'm gonna invite up Josh Alms. He's gonna talk a little bit about Capstone so he can give you a little particular from a student's perspective of what Capstone is like. So Josh?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Murphy. So as you said, my name is Josh Alms. I'm a senior here at Whitman right now, and I did go through the Capstone program. So both years of it, as you can see up there, it's a 2-year course in the form of AP Seminar and AP Research. And as he stressed, it's really an excellent opportunity for high school students to get a jump on getting comfortable with the whole research process that is really so critically important at the college level. So to start out discussing AP Seminar is going to be the first year in this course, which is typically taken in 10th grade in place of an English course. And it's really trying to serve as a baseline for students to get comfortable with doing research. So they'll look at how to read through academic papers, how to dissect an argument from one of them, pull out pieces of evidence, and then take that evidence and synthesize it into their own argument. And in doing so, they'll walk away with 2 research papers, 2 oral presentations as their total grade for the year on the AP score. And really what all this is doing is setting up the foundation for the independent research that they are going to pursue in AP Research, which is really the crux of what AP Capstone seeks to do. And so yeah, AP Research is really special in that you do get to spend the entirety of the year on only one project, exploring some sort of research project in any topic that you're interested in. So it can range from anything, economics, finance, physics, ecology, psychology, sociology, whatever it is that you're interested in, you can dedicate an entire school year to doing your own research into this topic. And really, that's one of the most special things, in my opinion, about the AP Capstone program. It's a unique experience for you to explore your academic passions within the classroom and really answer your own questions. So throughout the year, you'll go through a bunch of different processes. The first third of the year will basically be a compressed version of AP Seminar, where you look at kind of the available research in a field and see what hasn't been researched before. And then for the remainder of the year, that other 2/3, you'll explore different research methods, methods of data analysis, ways that you can answer some sort of research question, some sort of defensible thesis that hasn't actually been looked at before. And so again, through all this, you really get to explore the essence of research, that is answering your own academic curiosities. One of the things that's really incredible about the AP Research program from a classroom standpoint that is really amazing is that because your entire school year is basically your AP exam, you don't actually get much guidance from teachers. And so what that lends itself to is an incredible collaborative environment with the other students in the program. I've made incredible friendships with all of my peers in the AP Research program, from really diving into, dissecting, and tearing apart each other's research to hold each other accountable to really get everyone in the program to do well and succeed on the exam. And just to clarify, for the final of the AP Research exam, that's going to take the form of one research paper of about 5,000 words. So that's really an excellent way to get used to writing these lengthier and really thorough papers on a subject, as well as a 20-minute oral presentation that is an excellent way to get more comfortable with, just speaking to an audience and defending your thesis from a verbal standpoint. And then, as Dr. Murphy was saying, really my biggest takeaway for why students should really enroll in AP Capstone is the idea that, in my opinion, beyond any individual AP class, it's the most transferable in terms of the skills that you can take to college. It's not a content-based course. It's not like some other rigorous AP courses like AP Physics or AP Calculus, where you just need to drill it, do the exam, and then move on. You're actually learning skills, how to research, how to organize information and present it. And that's something that will not be forgotten as easily as content. That's something that you'll be able to bring into your undergraduate years. Because remember, for a lot of these colleges and universities, before they're institutions of education, they're actually institutes of research. That really is the crux of higher education, is this idea of exploring your own intellectual curiosities, contributing to the academic community in that way. And of course, the AP Capstone program is an incredible way to begin exploring that as a high schooler. And yeah, that's about all I had. Thank you.
And now Joshua will be selling his research to any students that are interested. It's for a nominal fee. The one thing you also have to remember, and we kind of touched upon it with Josh, is that with the AP Capstone program, I'll give you a statistic, and then if, say, your child wants to go to the University of Michigan. Now, it's a great, big school, great school. Do you know how many applicants each year the University of Michigan gets? Any idea? Can somebody give me a guess? You're about there. It's about 25,000. Do you know how many they actually accept? 2,000. So they get somewhere close to between 20 and 30,000 applications, and they only accept around 10% or maybe a little less. So how does your child stand out? Saying that, because the one thing college doesn't want, college is like a company. Colleges don't want college dropouts. Why? Because they want you to go into the workforce and say, I went to the university of this, or I went to the college of this. They don't want you to go in the workforce and say, yeah, I dropped out from that college. They want you to finish and complete your programs. So how do they say, well, if you have a kid that both A students, or they're both same academically because they've taken similar classes, and one has AP Capstone, meaning they've been given the skills for research, they understand the complexities of it, and the other one doesn't. If you're somebody who's going through the college accepting process, or you're making that yes or no decision, who do you think they're going to pick? So if your child's thinking about these big, high-name schools, it behooves them to show that I am ready for that next level of writing. I'm ready for that next level of research by taking a class such as this. Okay? Let's move on. All right, so as I said before, we wanted to talk about, well, how do I know my child is going to be successful in an AP exam or at the AP test at the end of the year? So we did this. This has been a statistical analysis over the last couple of years. Now, I preface this as last year. The last 2 years have been COVID. So we're a little off at the last year, but we want to be always honest. But we know what the complexities were because we went from a pen and paper test to an online test, and the parameters of those tests changed. But now we've compared ourselves a little more. But as you see, we've had a trend of going up where we have always hovered, no matter how, even though we started in 2014 with only 400 kids taking AP to now 548. And we started with 674 AP exams in 2014. And yet we are giving over 1,000 AP exams now. Yet our pass rate has really hovered around 75%. What does that say? Well, that says even though we've gotten more students to be interested in AP, we've opened the AP course book to allow more classes to have that college level, it has never deferred the actual passing rate. Our students are still being successful in it. And that is something, and that is over the national and state average. It's not like Whitman. Whitman has done such a good job. The teachers, the counselors, the administrators here have done such a good job in making sure kids are prepared for APs that they are doing so well that we are above the state and national average. So I wanted to share. So even though you say, I'm nervous for my kid, I'm telling you right now, your student's going to be successful. Your child is going to be ready to take it because you have great teachers behind them making sure they're going to get there. That's all right. So you asked before the price or the cost of everything. So the typical exam for a one credit class, meaning and not a science class, not a lab class, is $96. And for capstone, it's $144. Now, science could be a little more. It could be a little more in the exam. But what we do is students, or where their assistance is needed, students or parents can actually purchase the exam for as little as $34 a course. Okay? So now we say, well, I don't know if I want to pay for it. Well, let me be clear. So we talked about that number 4. I personally, my son's taking AP courses now. He's in 10th grade. He's taking now his second AP course. I would rather pay $96 now than $3,000 in 2 years. $3,000. I want a new car. I'm going to have him because I'm going to put that investment into that, knowing that he may not get a 3, but that statistic of 75% of them getting it is a lot better than the lottery, and I want to keep the money in my wallet rather than give it. So I will have him take as many AP courses as I can, because I want to make sure that he is going to walk in and say, I can take dual majors, I can go in and do something, I can explore in college without having to worry about losing time because maybe I want to change my major, or maybe I want to do two, whatever the reasons are. So exams are usually, just like a Regents, 2 to 3 hours. Now, last year and the year before, some were online. We will get more information to go out, so they could be an online exam, which we've been preparing for. They could be a pen and paper exam. And we'll get more information as that goes out, and especially for those 8th graders going into 9th grade, you're not taking an exam now. We'll have even more information in the year to come, okay? Now, we have a link here. Now, I will go back to the QR code. This whole PowerPoint will be available. I'd say grab the QR code, pull up. There are links on this website or on this PowerPoint that will give you information from the College Board website with regards to paying structure, extra help session, anything that's needed. We want to make sure that you're available. So this is a QR code. If you have your phone, you can pull up your QR code now. You can click on it, and you can save the actual PowerPoint slide presentation. I'll give a second. You don't want a picture of me. You want a picture of the QR code. And I'll put it back up at the end of the presentation, just if anybody needs to go up closer, okay? All right. Next one. Okay, so we talked a lot about this. So what's the benefits? I think we've been pretty clear. The benefits are your child's getting experience of college level coursework before college, so that they're prepared. They know what to expect when they get to college. They're a better student walking out, meaning they understand the complexities of post-secondary work. They understand what their expectations are when they go to college. And also, it's a money-saving item. It's something that gives them the ability to explore a little bit more in college, rather than, I'm going to take this course because I need to, because this is how little space I have in my schedule, and I'm only going to take this major. So they're able to have a little more leeway within their coursework. Go ahead. Okay. So one of the things that we talk, I want to talk a little bit briefly about, well, you say that it costs college credit. How do they get out of college? Like, what do they get? How does the college work that out? Well, usually all AP courses are usually your intermediate or your freshman courses. So if you take AP US and you get a 3, you go to college. Now in college, your first 2 years, much like high school, are all very much 4 core subjects. You have to take, some colleges require a language, some college always requires American history or an English course. And what it does is it takes away that 101 course, meaning that introductory level freshman course, which means in a lot of cases, your child may come in and be going into sophomore type coursework, meaning your second year of college rather than your first, because they have enough credits from College Board and AP courses. So they're kind of going, it's almost like they just skipped their whole first year of college and went right into their second year. Okay? So what that is, and what are the things, you can go forward to that thing. So like I said, with the QR code, this is great to look at. So if your child goes, I'm going, so Dr. D'Elia has talked a couple times, he loves the University of Alabama. He loves it. So I swear, I think he's going to go to it. So he goes to the university. If Dr. D'Elia wanted to take a couple AP courses and he wanted to go to the University of Alabama, but you go, well, University of Alabama, the average cost it's got to be, and I don't know the exact one, but it's at least over $60,000. We're talking a year, and that's probably not including room and board. So all of a sudden you say, I want to go, but my child's taken like 15 or 7 AP courses. Do they all count in University of Alabama? This link here under College Board, AP credit policy, you can actually go in, pick the schools that your child may be looking at and seeing what score they'll take of an AP course, because it's national. It'll tell you what score it'll take and what class it may even replace. Ta-da, there you go. Is this university? Is this Alabama? Yeah. All right, there we go. Miss Dr. D'Elia, we're ready. Come on. So we have, and this will tell you what courses it will replace, and it'll even tell you what score you have to get. So this is a great resource, especially if your child's becoming a 10th, 11th, 12th grader, and they start talking about where they want to go to college. So now you can start looking at it financially and saying, this is what's going to be able to transfer because of their score, and that's a good thing. because it gives you peace of mind and some financial planning. Let's go to the next one. All right, so we talked about a lot of myths and realities, and this is something that we want to just kind of cover over and review. So a myth, AP courses are for students that always get good grades. No. Listen, I can have a student that's terrible at math, but is amazing and loves American history. Does that mean because he's not good at math that he shouldn't take AP US history? That's absolutely false. If you put a calculus test in front of me, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. But it would be so difficult, and I know because that's not my passion. But my passion was social studies and English. So I may, as a student, go, okay, this is what I want. So maybe I'll focus, and maybe I'll take that AP course in US, or maybe I want to become a psychologist, and maybe English isn't my strong suit, or math is my strong suit, but I want to know more about psychology. So I'm going to take the AP psychology course. And that's okay. So not every kid has to be an A student across the board in order to take an AP exam. They have to find their passion, and this is what may help them find that. Another myth, AP courses are too stressful. I'm not going to lie. They are work. They will have work. It's like being in college sometimes. But you know what? Yes, they will be busy, but do you want them to learn while they're sitting in your home the stresses of college work, where you can be that voice, that reason, that person that's going to be that cheerleader? Or when you send them away to college and this is the first time they're experiencing this? That really is what it comes down to. And I would rather be there where it's not because it's too hard, it's just because they're not organized enough. So learn the organizational skills now rather than in their first year of college. I don't think I'll score high enough on the AP exam to get college credit. Now, we have twofold this. We told you can get a 3 or higher. Most colleges will accept it. We also have a partnership with Farmingdale College and Suffolk Community College, where you can pay to have college credit from SUNY schools as well. So even if they don't get a 3 on the exam, if you pay for the college credit of Suffolk, they will get SUNY credit for that course as long as they pass the course. And the success rate of all AP classes are very high. You're not going to not pass the course as long as you put the work in. Taking AP courses could hurt my GPA. Absolutely untrue. We have what's called a weighted system, which means, let's say if you get 100 in a Regents course, 100 in a honors course, or 100 in an AP course, what that translates on your transcript, if you're in a Regents course, your 100 is actually 104. Your honors course is actually 107 or 8. I think it's 7. 107. Your AP course is 115. So even if you got 5 points lower in an AP course on your yearly average, the weighted score would be so much higher than your actually Regents or honors score. And we do that for a reason. So it incentivizes you to say, because kids freak out. If they don't get that 95, or they only got a 90, they go, oh my God, my parents are going to hate me. They're going to kick me out. I'm never going to get to college, and it's not, and my life is over. Well, that weighting allows you to take those little bit of learning risks to say, listen, even if you get the 90, your weighting is going to be far higher than you would have if you were in that honors course. So we do that on purpose. And I can't take the AP because no one recommended it. Like I told you in the beginning, we are a self-selective school. It is you and your child's. You are the main people that make the choice in your child's. Now, the counselors will dictate and say, hey, it's not a good idea, and they'll be strong with it. But if you really want to try that, nothing's stopping you from trying it. But you will have people behind you saying, listen, we're here to support you, but we're always going to be honest with you and say, what you have to do in order to be successful, and then they will help you along the way as best they can. Okay, so things to consider for APs. Student strength. If they're really good social studies students, you probably shouldn't put them in AP calculus the first time around. They should probably look towards AP social studies or something in the social studies field. If they're an art student, we'd look there. We find the student's strengths and we start there and see when they start having success there, we expand upon that. The other thing we want to look at is extracurricular activities. Just because you're in an AP class doesn't mean that you can't be in AP extracurricular activities, but you, as the parent and the student, have to find balance in your life. You can't be in 9 clubs and every day here till 7 o'clock, and then the expectation, I'm going to take 3 AP courses. We find balance, just like you're going to be in college, because if you do that, you're going to run yourself ragged and sick. So it's finding that balance, finding that organizational skills to be able to say, I can do this, I can't do this. And last but not least, emotional maturity. Every kid develops differently. There are some ninth graders that you talk to them and you think they're 43 years old, and there are some ninth graders that you talk to them and you think they're ninth graders. It's all depending upon their emotional maturity. And sometimes we'll go and say, this ninth grader is ready, but this ninth grader is not. And that's something we're going to always be honest with a parent. And if they're not ready, it doesn't mean they're not going to be ready for next year. It just means maybe you may get a suggestion saying, listen, they need to put a little dirt under the wheels. They need a little more life experience. And then we think they're going to be a little more focused the next year. And that's something that a counselor and Mr. Blair and your teachers will help you with. That doesn't mean that you still can't take it. It's self-selection, but we're always going to be honest within the process. Okay, so if big question always comes up is, my child has a 504 or an IEP. They can't possibly take AP exams. That is 100% not true. Remember that statistical number I said we've increased the number of tests, the number of people? We have increased by 10% the number of students with IEPs that take an AP exam. Just because your son or daughter may struggle or have an IEP does not make them unable to take an AP exam or take an AP course. That is what an IEP is for. An IEP is to make sure that we're giving supports and services enough to make sure they're successful. If they choose to be, meaning they have to meet us halfway, but nothing is in their way of being able to take that course. We will give them the services and the support necessary to make sure that they can be successful within that course. So if your child does have an IEP or has a 504, that should not dissuade you from having the conversation of possibly being in an AP. And I can tell you right now, that might even help them because it shows them, it also raises their emotional maturity. It raises their ability to be able to to organize themselves, to be able to take complex things and be able to figure them out, not only on their own, but having the support of a counselor or their teacher. Okay, next one. Okay, we talked a little bit. There's something I don't want to bore you and go through the double things. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so these are some of the things where I'm going to give you, these are some of the resources that I'd love for you as a parent to share with your child. Look at them. And I tell you, as a parent to a parent, please look at them. If you didn't get the barcode yet, you can just click it on your phone. There's some great resources and information here that may answer things that maybe I haven't answered here, or if you have a question afterwards. But I implore you, it is the best decision you can make now to have these conversations, because you do not want to be too late when they're in college and they haven't gotten these skills, or you haven't at least addressed these skills, okay? All right, I think it was the last one, right? Okay, so I want to start by because I know you may have a lot, and if you want to ask a question in private, I'm going to stay before, but if you're open, because I guarantee if you're strong enough to ask it in a group, I guarantee there's 4 other parents that want to ask the same question. They're just a little too shy to ask. So does anybody have any questions? Go ahead. So science research, a little funny. So science research is not recognized by college, but gets college credit. So it gets AP weighting because it's research not like Capstone, because it's based only in science, and it's a great program. My son's in the same program. But it's not considered a College Board AP course. It gets you 3 credits. I believe it's through Syracuse University. Yep. So that is the one thing. So that you can do, and it's at the same level, and we consider it at Walt Whitman High School the same level because it is science research, but it is not an actual College Board course. Any other questions? Okay. Oh, questions? Oh, I don't want to talk to Mr. Blair. Come on. All right, Mr. Blair, go ahead. You have a question. Good. Any other questions? Is there any questions online? If you take AP Capstone in 10th grade, can you take AP Research in 12th grade? The answer is yes. And even if you do not take AP Research, I will still tell you your child should take AP Capstone, the seminar course, because at least you're getting foundational knowledge on how to research in college. So even if you don't want to say, I don't want them to get a capstone diploma, they don't want to take research, even, I implore them to take it, but at least take the AP seminar. And even if they're on the fence, well, I don't know, it might be too hard. Have them take seminar and then make the decision after seminar. They may find a love for it. So this is something that I would say, but you can take it in 12th grade if you so choose as an elective or as an elective AP course in 12th grade. Any other questions? Where are we? Go ahead. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. So in math, if your child's in honors math, they're going to go to algebra. So for 9th grade, the only AP course we will offer in 9th grade is the human geography. And we do, like we said, we do that because we feel it's I don't want to call it, they're all hard, but it's one of the ones we feel it's the easiest to transition to AP. And we do that only in human geography in 9th grade, and it gives you a taste of what AP coursework is like. So if your child is in honors 8th grade math or an honors 8th grade science, they would move on to an honors science or math in 9th grade. And then for math, they wouldn't get the ability to take an AP math course till the earliest would be 11th. Most of them take it in 12th. For science, it's definitely in 11th, where they can start with AP chemistry, or they can go into AP physics, or AP environmental, or AP biology. There's a lot of. I'll get yelled at if I don't say all of them. Go ahead. Yes. Separate courses. Yes, it's a separate. So the test you purchase is just specifically for that course. The credits you get are specifically for that course. So it is, and the question was, so yes, it's every class is different. It's none combined to say this is all one course. They are all separate in their own right. They're all the separate courses. Yes. Mm-hmm. So the AP, yeah, and that's a great question. So we keep that, and that's kind of like the gray area one. And that's something that's good. Computer science is somewhere relatively new to us. Not new to the course. I mean, new to who we're going to offer it to. We do offer AP Computer Science in 9th grade. What we do suggest sometimes, depending on their skill level, is for them to take what's it called, Adobe, or another course. Say again. Oh, thank you, JavaScript. I couldn't remember the name of the course. If they're already proficient or they're already past that level, we absolutely allow AP Computer Science, but we would want to talk. We would always have a conversation. We don't want them walking in and then floundering going, this is a little above my head, especially with computer science because you need so much foundational knowledge. So that's we would go in. And if we said, oh, it's not, we would go like either cybersecurity, JavaScript, and then we would say probably take the AP Computer Science at 10th grade, but it's all dependent upon their skill base. Any of them. Yep, any of them. And other than the highlighted ones that show like the program for what they can take in lieu for their high school credit, any of those courses. We just gave it like a set like where we think it best fits, but they can be taken anywhere across the board. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. No, so it's a great question. So say your child it's halfway through the year. They did okay in the first quarter. It's like almost like a building, and then all of a sudden they're struggling. They're underwater by mid-year. We transfer over. You can mid-year. We always, but that's what a counselor's for. They're going to review. Your child always has that counselor to go to talk about it. They can talk with the teacher. And then if they just say, listen, the work, it's just getting too much, they can always level down to an honors course. So that's something that we do offer. And like I said, it can be done mid-year. I think, is there, Corey, I don't think there's a shut off to level down. I think you can go all the way, just making sure. You can, I mean, I'm not saying that nobody levels down in like the end of the beginning of the fourth quarter. We pretty much established by halfway through what you're doing, but yes, you have the ability to level down at any time. Any other questions? Yes, Donald. The teacher will go in within the first couple of weeks, and if they see that you're struggling, they will either have a conversation with the counselor or you and say, hey, it's not so much we want you to drop, it's more so, hey, either this is what we got to do to be successful, but if you got too many things on your plate, it may be a good idea. We have a question? It goes to the honors weighting. So if I went from AP Euro, which is the Global 2 honors course, if I say I'm dropping down, all it would do in the transcript is when you're in the course, it would say AP Euro. If you leave the course, it would then automatically revert on your transcript to Global History 2 honors. So you would just go down in level. It would never reflect that you were in the course on your transcript. Yes. That test you take is only on your own paperwork or in a separate paperwork we would send out to schools. It is not part of your transcript. So if you took 7 AP courses and there was one you just didn't do well in, and you're like, I don't want them to see that 1 or 2 I got on that AP test, they're not, because the transcript never shows it. It's only when you submit for coursework, let's say, I want to get credit for these classes in college. Any other questions? 11th grade. Yeah. Say again? AP, for the math course, would be AP Statistics, AP Calculus A, or AP Calculus B. Yes. The next year, absolutely. He can always go in, he can always try again the next year, maybe, and maybe with what he learned from that year, he's more experienced and will be able to be successful. There is nothing stopping you to go back to AP or try AP again the following year. Yep. No, there's no try. You can do that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. And if they want to choose, so now all of a sudden they give that. It could be at times where in lieu of a lunch, but we that's very particular because we always believe in lunch. But there's room in your schedule once you fulfilled your fine arts, and you may want to stay in fine arts, and then you'll go through. But you have choices really after the your ninth grade year. Yes. They wouldn't be, for AP, for ninth grade, they wouldn't be recommended for an AP math course. The only AP they'd be recommended for is social studies, AP human geography, or that would be the one that you only can take in ninth grade. You would move in. So if your child's in a regular, let's say a Regents 8th grade course, they could have, through their course leveling, they would probably have the ability to get in, well, they would have the ability to get, if they so choose, to an AP statistics. Calculus probably wouldn't be until at least their senior year, but if they wanted to take an AP statistics course, it would be either in their 11th or 12th grade year. Math is something you would wait because just the skill level, you need that background or foundational knowledge. Social studies is a little different. That's why we started with it in ninth grade. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what, and really it's honors all the way until 10th or 11th grade, because you can start taking AP statistics in 11th grade.